It's not a
The Get Right podcast.
The podcast is Can't Get Right podcast. Alright, so we were talking about sinners, and one of the things I know the vampire actually wanted. What was his name?
The vampire? A stack or
the white guy?
No, not the vampire, but the little cousin. What was his name?
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot what his name
was. Okay, so the vampire wanted him specifically because of the music.
Right.
And what that made me think about was the song that Kendrick has called Reincarnated. Because in this song, he's talking about being reincarnated, but all the people he's reincarnated as are musicians. I can't remember the first person that he was, but I know it was a blues player. Then it was Billie Holiday. Then it was himself. But I'm wondering why they wanted the guitar player specifically. And I'm wondering, like, is it one of those things like, well, you play music and it's easier for us to reach more people?
They consider music to be the universal language.
Right.
It transcends every language. It don't matter. You know, that's the reason why, you know, you can go to China and they may not speak any English, but they speak Wu-Tang.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Nah, I got mine a little bit up so I can have to turn you guys. So, yeah. So, I mean, you can go pretty much any country and certain music just like everyone knows it, no matter what it is. That's the reason why a lot of Americans don't really make money over here, but they can go overseas. And the people may not know a lick of their language, but they may sell out a show 100,000 people, and they could probably get barely 10,000 people over here in America. So, you know, it's just one of them things that they know that the sound that he had, the vampire wanted that sound, because if he took it, you ever seen the Book of Eli?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the same thing. The guy that wanted that Bible so bad, it was the last Bible left on earth.
So you can control.
Yeah, because he knew the power of having something that you see how Christianity is now. To this day, it's just like so like most widespread religions. So he knew the power of that. If he could get that in his hands, he could control and manipulate the mind. You see what happened with slavery. They used it. They manipulated to, you know, whatever they wanted it to be, and they controlled minds with it. It's the same thing. Music is a part of that, you know. So he could use the music that he was putting out. Yeah, exactly. And if you notice, like, he was kind of like a cult making like vampire. He like once he did his call, they all fell in line. Yeah. You know, so his thing was like to control all. Yeah,
a flash mob.
Mm-hmm.
They were singing, dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they say like all music is like a frequency and a vibration.
Exactly.
If you believe in different things on a higher level, it draws more, like it taps into the soul a little bit more, and that frequency sometimes can tune into certain people where, like, even in meditation, they have their certain levels of waves. Even white noise, certain things give people certain peace, certain things give people certain memories. So music is always going to be impactful and on a spiritual level because it touches into a lot of different things. Sometimes you forget certain shit. You hear a song and like, damn, it make you think of somebody that passed or somebody that's not around no more, or even like in a bad way, it make you think of like a relationship or a heartbreak or somebody you don't fuck with no more. a
lot of music that's that people groove to and dance to is at like a 120 beat per minute, which is like the beat of the heart. Mm-hmm. And they say that it kind of gets people in tune with the rhythm. You know, if you make a beat on that low that wavelength, a lot of times it'll become a hit, you know.
Yeah. What you about to say? When I say
frequency, beats per minute, 120 beats per minute. Yeah.
Well, I know they said it's a couple of artists recently said that the frequency that a lot of music made is changed, and that means I don't know. I guess it, like you said, it alters people's thoughts and the way they move and things like that. So, like, I definitely get that. And one thing, like we talking about sinners, or we speaking on it. the soundtrack, I was like, man, you know, I kind of want some of these songs. I was in there Shazamming. Like, no lie, I was definitely in there trying to Shazam some of the songs, but it was definitely like even the Irish song that was playing. Like I was like, especially after the whole situation happened in the barn and the old girl left out and they was out there in a group and they was out there vibing. Like it was kind of dope. I was like, this sounds pretty good. But yeah, and like you said, music is it's a universal language. Like, I'm not sure how often you on TikTok, but I know Akira on there, I'm on there. And one thing they're doing now is this line dance, and they're using Set It Off by Strife. If I'm not mistaken, that song came out in '84. And that's literally, I'm not gonna say the only song he made, but he said after that he didn't need to make music no more. Because it's been sampled so often. And from America, it's Indian versions of it, it's a lot of versions.
Like Set It Off on the line.
Yeah, that song
yeah.
That song is sampled heavily. And to think that came out 84, 85 and it's so prevalent. Like that's honestly been one of my favorite songs for a long time. And you know, just like you said, it's a universal thing, so that song's been sampled.
And then like another thing with music, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute though, is like if you want to control a generation or a narrative with certain people, like with all the content now with hip hop and music, like I feel like it's overly sexualized now, because I can't stand when I listen to the radio and I got my daughter in the car. Like a male, female, no matter who it is, everything is about sex. And I'm like, yo, where can we get some clean, and I know that it's the radio. And I know it's plenty of clean, positive hip hop out there. I know that, and rap and all that. I know that, but the radio specifically be pissing me off every time I turn it on, because it's always just about sex. Like every song they play, that's all it's about. So my point in saying that is it controls the narrative too a lot of different times, and then it can influence heavily. Because if you hear the same thing 50 times in a row, like I'm a bad bitch, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a bad, you start saying it and naturally just automatically wire your subconscious to believe like, oh, that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
These young ladies and these young men calling women fine shit. That is the crazy.
Little fine shit.
This my fine shit. Oh, some fine shit. What? Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Right.
And if you say something, the first thing they're gonna try to do, you an old nigga.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's a part of life.
Right.
You know the crazy thing about it though? It's like the music now compared to the music back in the day, cause you gotta think when we were coming up, like the artists, they didn't all sound the same. Nelly sound different than DMX. DMX sound different than Jay-Z. Jay-Z sound different than Nas. Nas sound different than Outkast. You know, Outkast sound different than Mobb Deep. It was just like we had like all the music sound different. Everything now sounds just like the last song that just came on.
You know, one of the reasons why I think that I think it was more of a filter at the time. How much music or how many people got through the gates to be able to make music. So they was like, all right, it's 10 artists a year coming out, or I'm not gonna say that specifically, but now it's much easier to get your music out because you have the internet. So it's way more artists as well. That's one reason. Like, I'm not sure, I can't say how many albums or songs were released, let's just say 95, from hip hop artists compared to now. I'm sure it's probably almost 50% higher, or possibly even higher than that. So that's one of the things. And like you said, like they all follow, a lot of them, they kind of follow each other, like that works. And then they hear something they like, and then they make music that sound like that. That's what
I think that's the problem though, because see, you know, I don't think it's more artists now than it's always been a lot of artists. Like I said, just so many of them got filtered in. What it is like you say, what they follow the trend. Whatever's hot, everybody jump on that same trend. And back in the day, because I've been doing music for so long, I used to be where everyone wanted to sound. They didn't want to sound like the last person. And actually, you wouldn't get picked up if you sounded like someone else. Now, if someone come out and they hot, everyone like, no, you need to sound like them to pop. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's just that though. I think it's a combination of like we hold the power more now than ever. I feel like whatever gets popping or whatever gets popular is what they tend to go with, because they're not building artists no more. Ain't nobody getting built. They're not.
That's why they're filtering it through the radio.
So whoever gets popping, this is who they kind of put the engine behind. You got some like industry plants that's just known. I mean, that's not known, but it's related to somebody or something like that, and they create them a career. But for the most part, I feel like it's us who's pushing these people to be in the position they in. And then what I mean by us is, I mean the people, the numbers. Like whoever getting the numbers and making it seem like they popping is the ones that getting pushed. But there's a lot of different artists out here that is dope that we just haven't had access to or haven't seen or haven't heard. Because sometimes I'll be on my Instagram or TikTok and I run across an artist like, damn, this motherfucker dope. Who the hell is this?
Yeah.